Let's get it, like it or not. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Yeah. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going down.
Rebecca Zora's in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. She's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, dreaming, trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in stride.
I am your DJ, DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams.
Good hope, dad jokes, culture, it's politics. What's here right now is the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I ended up with the plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. Tuesday to Thursday, you know how we do. Let's go. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going down.
Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going, it's going. Hey man, let's start this damn show.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
All right, give me one moment. Right there, like so. Just get it right there. Yes, here we go. Still a little lopsided now. I'm leaning to the left, but we're gonna just leave it like that. How you doing this morning, Bubba? How are you?
I'm here. That's all I can say. I feel like crap.
Well, you feeling sick? Are you feeling like you got a cold? What's going on?
Stomach cramping, probably from this medicine. So I ain't even eat yesterday. So we're gonna see how that goes today.
Yeah, so. You know what's really good for it when your stomach is cramping and things like that, like an upset stomach, ginger tea, raw ginger is so good. Eat up all the acids in there, just you know what I'm saying, get it all right. And it can also help with the pain if you want to go the natural route. So try to do some ginger tea and stay away from like the fruity type teas, because that's
sugar.
Yeah. So try to do the ginger tea, and if and drop a little bit. If you got some lemon balm, you probably don't. Look, me, if you got some, because back in Florida we'd be like, go in the backyard, go get the lemon balm leaves, go get the
okay. I was gonna say the
orange leaves, lemon balm leaves or those leaves, and then you put it in there. Boil it up, and if you got some sour orange, some skin peels, look, this is the Haitian remedies. Cut it up, cut the skin off the sour orange, boil it up in some water real quick, and then that naturally will make a tea to help you out as well.
Now, what is a sour orange?
I don't know how to say. I say sour orange because in Creole it's called the sour orange. Like if I literally translate it, zorange, but I don't know if that's a thing. It's the sour orange. It's not. Maybe like a citrus, it's something in the citrus family, and it looks like an orange, but it's sour. It's not sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
I really want to try that. I like sour stuff. So that would, yeah.
You cut the skin off of it, you boil it up, and it creates you a natural tea. So, yeah, but anywho, I hope that you do feel better. I know this is the season that people are getting sick. I know my girlfriend just told me that her son, was coming down with a cold, and I have another friend who said that she's just coming down with it. Like, it's just, as you can see behind me on my lopsided left, it's just a gloomy day out. Temperatures are rising, lowering in the middle, in between, on the side. Storms are brewing in the middle of damn November. Hurricanes is happening over there in South Florida. So I know our bodies are trying so hard to keep up with all that's going on. So I do hope that you do get better. I hope that you feel better. Thank you for joining us. And we do apologize for coming in on late, but thank you for joining us. My audience.
And my bad, y'all. That was my fault because I didn't feel like getting up. I've been in the bed since yesterday. So I went on and got up today. And Josh, can you switch us around? I'd be having so much trouble looking over at Rebecca on that side.
That was that was
it's just
about
a
what
thing.
something was off for me, and I'm
Yeah,
like, when
I
the
can't.
host, you got your
Yeah,
the host and your
yeah,
co-host. It's supposed to,
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
It got to be right. It got to be
yeah.
right.
Because I was thrown all the way off. I was just like, I'm looking, feel like I'm looking at this stand over here, and I'm just like, this don't feel right.
It's how I'm not on the marquee, but it's okay. I could still be right here. I could still be
Right.
right here, right? I'm not on the marquee, but I could still I'm here. I'm primary. But I love you guys so much. Listen, we got some stories that we want to get through. We want to make sure that we get through the stories in the time that we do have, to make sure we get Bubba back into the bed. So again, good morning to the audience. Love you guys. Mean it. Don't let the gloomy day fool you. It's going to be a really, really great show. But
And I
before
love
we,
it.
yes, and before we get to the stories, the meat of the stories, I really wanted to start it off with the news from yesterday. Um, Gun violence. We had a shooting yesterday. And my gosh, it's a shooting at a university, but police have in custody a University of Virginia student and ex UVA football player suspected of fatally shooting 3 current players and wounding 2 other people late Sunday at the school's main campus in Charlottesville as a bus returned from a class field trip. School officials said the suspect, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., faces 3 charges of second-degree murder and 3 counts of using a handgun in the commission of a felony. UVA Police Chief Timothy Longo Sr. told reporters Monday morning, as for an hours-long manhunt came to an end and authorities lifted a campus lockdown order. Jones was arrested without incident around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, about 80 miles east of Charlottesville in Henrico County. The county police agency said in a statement, an officer spotted the vehicle Jones was driving in the eastern area of Henrico, where he was taken into custody without incident, according to the news release from the police station division. Police have not offered a motive just yet for the attack. And those killed were Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry, who were members of the football team. But let's take a look at more.
That attack has been on the more than 12 hours. Suspect was captured late this morning. I want to take a moment to remember those killed. Devin Chandler was a wide receiver in years at the University of Wisconsin. Lavelle Davis Jr. was one of the top teams. Said that outside of class, he liked to watch 90s movies and read Shakespeare plays and the Bible. Deshaun Perry.
So it looks like we're having some technical difficulties with that, but I just wanted to get a little, pay homage to those who did pass. And from the shooting, and as we're still getting information, it's still developing. But again, those who were killed were Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. It sucks that you wake up, you don't know what's going to happen. These things are happening every day. I would say my condolences to the families of those who lost their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say, I said this a long time ago, is now a good time to discuss gun control.
Yeah. Especially Rebecca, because there was another shooting at another university overnight as well too. So here it is, 2 different shootings at 2 different universities, basically on the same day. It's just these types of things. It's just like, when are we going to start talking about gun control and stop trying to control women's bodies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those those both are incidents that we're dealing with right now, and that's why we should be looking at our leaders. And yesterday I said, while I was on the Hill, I was talking about, they asked me, what could the Is this a great win for the Democrats or is this a loss for the Republicans? And I honestly said both parties could have done better with pushing their agendas, like helping us understand what we're going to be looking at specifically, not just, hey, I'll be the one to fight you for gun control, but how are you going to do that? What does that look like? Do you know exactly what we're suffering from when it comes to shootings and how they've elevated just in the last few years here, just this year alone? Do you know what the stats are, what that looks like for certain towns locally, nationally? What does it look like? What does it look like? And women's bodies is another issue, but I think that America has, this story comes out, America makes sure that we don't focus on the fact that guns are an issue here. Yes, the person holding the gun is definitely an issue as well, but access to guns, the whole idea, the leniency on, the criteria to getting guns. This is what we're dealing with right now. School shootings have gone up like nobody's business. They don't just go to colleges. They don't just go to high schools. They're going to elementaries. Got to do better right now. Yeah. And again, my condolences to the family. My goodness.
Yeah, and then and this is still a development story. For him to be a former football player, as well, the killer, and then for those students to be football players, I just feel it's more involved into what they're letting out. And then also to give y'all background on it, not background on it, but an update on it as well too. They had been looking at the suspect for some time. They were already on the university police's radar, because they had heard he had a gun, but it just looks like they were too late. They were too late.
A gun again. When are we going to take gun violence? When are we going to start talking gun control? People can't call and say, hey, I feel threatened, especially on a campus. It should be more movement when it comes to that. But I guess, when somebody calls in about, hey, I probably feel threatened by a gun or whatever, it isn't priority. And I don't know. I just don't know. But I just feel like in this sense, we got to help stop this. It's not just the person that has the issue, that it's how the person obtained the gun, child. The freedom.
Facts.
We gotta start doing better. That's a sad story. It's continuing to develop. We're still looking at what the motive may be. And I know that yesterday, again, it was like a manhunt. We were watching it live with everyone else. We were getting the news on Twitter. We were getting the news on our feeds on Instagram. And it's for the school, the people there to have gone through lockdown, people afraid. It shouldn't have to be like that. So, this world is just something else. In other news, as we're going to continue to focus on that story. And as news develops, we'll get it to you. But in other news, we know that we are coming fresh out of a campaign showdown, an election showdown. And we had Val Demings, who we were introduced to in this election cycle, in this campaign season. Val Demings against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Val Demings is a woman of color, particularly a Black woman, who was running against Ron DeSantis for his seat as governor. And we know that he ended up winning because Florida ain't got no sense. But he, for his election speech and, his election win speech and all that good stuff, he been huffing and puffing around lately. This is how he does, but he's been huffing and puffing. And most recently, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis secured his second term in office on Tuesday, defeating Democratic nominee Charlie Crist. Okay, so Charlie Crist was who he was up against by a significant margin in this year's midterm elections, right? The projected win for DeSantis, a conservative who has become a prominent fixture in the Republican Party in recent years, and it favored as a possible contender for a presidential bid in the 2024 race. Came as
Oh,
Florida
child.
came as Florida continues its political shift from swing state to more reliably red. Right? I ain't never lived in a swing state, and I lived in Florida, so it was always red when it felt red.
Always.
It
Always.
felt red.
Always.
Results from the gubernatorial. I have my braces
The
elastic.
retainer.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
pulling my teeth right now. Gubernatorial election showed stronger support for the GOP incumbent from residents of Miami-Dade County, a historically blue metropolitan area. Miami is not Florida. Florida, Miami is a city in Florida, as well as Latino voters. And it was not the only big victory for Republicans in Florida. Senator Marco Rubio, that's who she went against. Marco Rubio also cruised to a second term. DeSantis gave a victory speech at his campaign's headquarters in Tampa and declared that Florida's electorate, right up in there, electorate had rewritten the political map. He denounced what he called woke ideology and told a cheering crowd that Florida is where woke goes to die.
That's a goddamn lie.
Let's see if we can take a look at this clip. Let's see if we can possibly get you guys to hear. I would love for you to hear.
Woke ideology. Fight the woke in the legislature. Fight the woke. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke die.
Child, let's be honest and let's be real. Florida is not where woke go to die. Florida is that state where half of the mother suckers there just don't vote. And they just don't care. That's what it is. If you want to be woke, let's see how woke these people is when you get them everybody out there to vote. If Florida had somebody like Stacey Abrams, Florida be completely different. Because from that tri-state down there at South Florida coming on up to Central Florida, going on up to the top of Florida, child, there should be no reason that goddamn state ain't blue. It should be no reason.
Because it's blue it's not blue, excuse me, because Miami, Palm Beach, Broward.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, that's Broward. Look, because Dade is Miami. Palm Beach.
Miami.
When I say West Palm Beach, I'm talking about Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County. That's the Caribbean. And so that's why it gets a little bit of a little blue, overcast. However, the rest of Florida gives me the real strong red vibes. Those are just cities in Florida. Florida itself really has the representation of what exactly DeSantis is, what Marco Rubio is. That's what we can see. DeSantis, Rubio. Rubio, DeSantis. Rubio. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They got that Spain Italian back around from like 3 generations removed. Came over here and was like, I am white. White.
And we got to verify this and make sure, but they're saying only about 30% of Florida's electorate voted last week. That's terrible. 30%. And this is why. That's what I'm saying, man. They don't have people canvassing Florida like they should.
Who gonna canvass them streets?
Child, let me go down there. Let me go run them streets.
No one has to really canvass. So Val Demings was somebody. Val Demings was somebody again that was introduced to us, and she was the representation that I seen from somebody who was willing to go against the grain, go against the hard hitters and the people who won't be removed, the people who have power. To me, going up at the debate and challenging folks, I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. But Florida, because I don't say America, Florida wasn't ready for that. Florida wasn't gonna try to put her in a Senate seat, and so as a congresswoman, I don't know. I didn't see that for her. But Marco Rubio maintained the seat. DeSantis maintained his seat. A lot of people weren't really moved. I know that we did have, I think in Florida, somebody who won as a Generation Z progressive thinker. I
Yeah.
believe that was out of Florida. And on top of that, a minority. So that was good. But we're going to see more and more if we don't continue to fight and be clear and stop focusing on during these campaign and elections. I would have loved to see more Val Demings having support behind them, not only in the presence of online, socially. I would have loved to see people actually hammer down during that time instead of just saying I'm going to vote for a black person. Remember, you know how I feel about that. We can't look at her. It's great to see that there was a black woman, but I seen what she was standing for. It was somebody who wasn't focused on just being woke. We got a man who did not say anything to his crowd right now. He can't even give you a description of what woke actually means or where it comes from. Even I am tired of the word woke, but coming from him, we know that it has a racial undertone. Woke. Where does it derive from? Why are you utilizing what I would say AAVE in your speech and saying Florida is where woke goes to die? Were you clear to your audience? No, but the crowd cheered like nobody's business because what's understood doesn't have to be said, it sounds like. But this is what we're voting for. We're voting for leaders who are not clear, guys. Who are not clear, who don't have a real agenda, who don't have real policies to help us out. They can quote something from damn Twitter, walk around here and use that as a talking point. Sit on their behinds. Move off of emotion that may be negative and remove programs that are helping a certain minority group because they got an attitude that day and they feel like whites aren't getting what they need. Whites are being oppressed. That's not leadership.
Right.
And I don't care if it was the red or the blue. I hate that we are focused so much on color to the point where y'all let what's that man's name with the toupee on Fox that we be talking about often?
Tucker.
Yes. Tucker Carlson.
Tucker.
Y'all let him tell us back in August that there will be a red wave and we should be looking at a red wave. You guys also told everyone that all of the when you guys being Fox News media or really, really right-leaning media, that people should focus on crime and putting that more into their ads. You know how many crime ads I saw, but what they were leaning towards, or ads that were leaning toward focused on Black people being at the center of all issues from the right. There was one that I seen where that focused on, hey, all white people need to go to these programs. White people are being oppressed. They started utilizing AAVE in the commercial, like woke, Black Lives Matter, like different things. And they associated that those terms with aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we see when we see people like, when we see leaders like Brian Kemp and we see leaders like DeSantis. They utilize this in their speeches and they utilize this in the commercials. They did not tell you how they can help you. If you're a person that's on the right and you're listening to this, you know you didn't get any clarity on how they're going to help you because they were so focused on, victimizing themselves, but making us look like we're the thugs, we're the problem, which is usually how it is. But they were going extra hard and paying millions of dollars in ads.
Yeah. Millions.
They talked about crime and they were showing people during the George Floyd protests and the looting that was going on, but it was only Black people in a certain area and they put that on people's TV.
And the main, but want y'all to realize the main one that was doing that shit, because it really pissed me off, was damn Herschel Walker. And for another Black man to get on there and to spit the rhetoric of Black Lives Matter, the woke mob, and then come on, hi, I'm Herschel Walker. That, like, bruh. How in DF can you be like that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not understanding. And then had the stuff in there about the George Floyd protests and everything else. I'm like, bro, what America were you in? Who almost said that word? I'm like, what America were you in 2020 and 2021? Because my America was a hell of a lot different than what the ones you saw.
Your America. Okay.
America.
So you're totally right. But they want us to see exactly what those commercials were doing. Both, I'm gonna tell you, both sides were really not giving me much when they were feeding me what I needed to know from these commercials. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Absolutely.
They were so focused on going at each other's heads and putting out these smear campaigns. But I seen the right working 6 jobs for some reason this year, didn't tell us what they were going to do for us. It was at the end of the commercial. You got Brian Kemp will be great for you, Georgia. Brian Kemp won't do that. What is it though? What is it? A commercial from Georgia that said, we got to protect whites. It really said that. We got to protect whites. Whites are losing their access to healthcare. Whites are at the back of the line when it comes to whites are doing whites and white. And I'm like, and they said, will your leader push whites away too? It's racist. That's what they were saying. And I swear that was a commercial that I seen. And if I could find it, I'm going to try to. Second commercial that I seen, I came from the far right, pushing out again. It was terrible. They said, Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams. She wanted to lock down Georgia. She wanted to lock your kids out of schools.
Yeah.
It was a whole pandemic. How was Stacey Abrams locking your kid out of the school?
One person.
The school wasn't open.
The school wasn't effing open, bro. You blaming Stacey Abrams for like the death of Christ.
Then they're like, Stacey Abrams believes that cops should be defunded. But see, if you want to be clear, Stacey Abrams, we were also feeling some type of way because Stacey Abrams was like, cops should be funded, pay them more.
Yep.
She said they should be funded and paid more, and we should use the funds. We didn't, and we were like, hold on, lady. We ain't want them to, we didn't say fund them now. But she said that if you fund them, they'll stay in their positions. They'll be more motivated to come to work, but also we'll fund them to have the correct training, longer training periods before going out on the field, mental health, help and things like that. She said that would include into the funding, but people were out there saying Stacey Abrams wanted to defund the police. She was running with the defund the police, Black Lives Matter. Okay, but she just put herself out there where she said she wanted to fund the police more money. Did y'all put that in there?
Nope. Oh, but they're gonna put in there that she was an actress. She's spending money on the
Marvel or was it Star Trek? She appeared in Star Trek.
So that made it seem like I'm like, but don't all y'all ass do these press junkets? Y'all get on these goddamn TV. Y'all just mad because ain't nobody invited y'all to do no movies.
I don't understand why that was so hard for them to comprehend. Because I've seen, I mean, like you guys gave us Donald Trump. We also had I'll be Buck. What's his name?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like we had, stop playing with us. Like this ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. But
Ronald Reagan. Let's go. Ronald Reagan.
Listen, what are we doing? What are we doing? We had Fitzpatrick. Olivia and Fitz.
Who is that?
Scandal.
Shut up, Rebecca.
Listen. No, I'm kidding. No, but I think to say this year was so much focused on getting your ad out there on the wrong things. And then this is what I really want to discuss because I didn't get this opportunity to talk about it yesterday on the Hill because they wasn't asking the right questions. But when we could, because Tucker Carlson said there's going to be a red wave, also because Tucker Carlson said that the Republicans needed to focus on crime more, right? They started to focus on crime. A commercial that I seen was one dedicated to the Asians. They said Joe Biden allowed Asians to be beat up, to be hurt and abused. And then they started talking about the, of course, Democrats who are leaders, locally. Do you want your leader who supports Joe Biden to allow racism to happen? They didn't talk about any Black instances, Black people getting beat up during the pandemic, Black people being oppressed. They didn't talk about any of that. They went to go find the Asians. And then they didn't say how Asians were being beat up because of the rhetoric that Donald Trump put out there during the pandemic about the Chinese flu. Oh, they didn't talk about that. They said Joe Biden allowed that. Meanwhile, Joe Biden actually acknowledged that they were getting beat up. They signed an anti-hate crime bill for the Asians.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last time I ever seen Kamala Harris.
I say Kamala Harris.
But she was there. And that's how big it was. It was acknowledged. But you know who didn't acknowledge it the whole time? The right. But then they popped up on our screens during campaign time to try to mold your mind into thinking something else. And here's where I have the issue with that. People believed it. But it was the right's fault for putting the rhetoric out there that it was a Chinese flu, that it came from people who looked Asian. So people were going out there and they were attacking them. Yep. They were assaulting them. They were assaulting their businesses. Okay? That's one. Two, why is there so much more crime? If there is more crime. I said yesterday that Mayor Eric Adams wants to push for more police presence in New York. And I said, if police were equated to safety, then New York would definitely be safe right now. But it ain't, because that's not the real issue. With all the crime that may be there, police can be everywhere. Police they don't miss a beat in New York City. Right. Police are all over the place. You see NYPD police stations all over the place. You see their cars, you see them on foot, you gonna find them. New York, there's not a lack of it. But he proposes, and he's a Democrat, he proposes to push more of their presence, fund them more. And I don't see how that would be a solution. And I say that to say the real issue when it comes to crime, I would believe at the top of the list is guns. Who does the person look like the most when they're going to shoot up schools? White males. White males who have mostly Republican backgrounds, or their parents come from a conservative home. This is what we're looking at. Why don't y'all bring that up in a conversation when we're talking about crime and how it's elevated? Why don't we bring up the fact that crime against minorities, specifically Black folks, has elevated since Trump got into office? But in the last 10 years, we've seen so many more mass shootings, right? Last 10 years, 20 years, more mass shootings. And people don't want to look at the specs of it. I said, when we're putting these commercials out, how about the Republicans put the specs, the stats, more acknowledgement for people to understand why they think crime is because Democrats don't care about Asians. Because we can definitely pull out, and here's where I think Democrats dropped the ball to counteract that. Hey, you know what? This is what such and such said, but here is why it's not our fault, but we should be highlighting where crime has, how crime has expanded in the last 2 years, 3 years, where it's coming from, who's being attacked the most. This is how I am going to, with my policies, help with that. That was your opportunity. That was your chance. But we didn't get the clarity. We didn't get much of that. I can't say for all, but I can say for what I was seeing on these damn commercials. We were dropping the ball because we wanted to fight each other through commercials, not giving correct information. There was so much misinformation that was allowed to go across our screens. And that was wild to me. You were spending so much money. You were dropping so much money for that when that money could have been utilized for other things. But I say this to say, they didn't win because they pushed crime, because people just knew that was BS. And they, being Republicans, when it came to gaining control, we're trying to still keep ourselves controlling the Senate. We want ourselves to control the House, but we're going to take what we can get.
Yeah. And, I was about to say, go ahead, Rebecca. Let's finish your thought.
Yeah. But other than that, I think that we should focus on, in this next pushing, after the elections, and we're going to see on December 6th when we get the runoff here what that's going to look like with Herschel and Raphael Warnock, Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. But don't look at the ads, baby. Look at the stats. And all you got to do is hear Herschel talk. I mean, that's enough right there.
That's all you gotta do is just look at the track record of what the hell Herschel did and what all he stand for. Because let's look at the track record. You ain't gotta look at nothing else. That's it. The proof is in the pudding, baby.
Yeah.
But I was gonna tell everybody this documentary on Hulu called God Forbid. It is the story of the president or the president from Liberty University having an affair with the pool boy. Well, his wife was having an affair with the pool boy. Y'all need to check that out, because when I tell you the rabbit hole go deep, honey, and it take you up and through there. It's a good documentary, but it's called God Forbid on Hulu. It's dealing with Trump, the president from Liberty University, his wife, all of that. Check it out. Okay.
That's giving a lot.
It is. It's like I said, it's for real, because it basically brought this man down and I cannot remember his name, Rebecca, but I know we talked about this man on here before, because he basically announced Trump's he basically announced endorsed Trump, that basically gave Trump the main endorsement for him running for president. Yes, utter bullshit. It is giving cuckold, but anyway, yeah.
Listen, I know they
Falwell Jr. Yep,
I'm gonna go
Jerry
check it
Falwell.
out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna definitely check it out. I know that we're running short on time, but I do want to catch, because it's still in the arena of what we're discussing. Racist. Racist gone racist.
I want you to go away.
And on this show, we definitely always gonna highlight it, but I wanted to get to the story for sure. And we'll go with both. Hey, Texas gonna text, and y'all, this one is in New Jersey, and we're gonna move to Texas, but an angry New Jersey mother, an upset New Jersey mother, a hurt New Jersey mother, she fired off a heated speech on racism during a local board meeting last week after she says her Black daughter, a 9-year-old girl, Black daughter, was racially profiled by a former council member who freaked out simply because she was killing invasive insects. You read that right, or you heard that right. In a story first reported by local outlet The Progress, Monique Joseph described how her neighbor, Gordon Lachey, called the police on her 9-year-old daughter, Bobby Wilson, on October 22nd while Bobby was outside trying to kill spotted lanternflies. The insect is known to be a danger to trees and other plants, so much so that the scientists have recommended a myriad of ways for the public to kill them. But I want you guys to take a look at what the mother and daughter of Bobby said they experienced.
Them in school. While researching, she realized there's a non-toxic solution you can make at home that can effectively kill the spotted lantern bug. She proceeded to make a mixture which was made up of water, apple cider vinegar, and a little Dawn dish soap. She then discovered multiple infested trees on our street and decided to give the solution a try by spraying them on the trees and the actual bug. She was not only doing something amazing for our environment, she was doing something that made her feel like across the street, saw my sister spraying the trees with the solution. I didn't know what she was doing. Usually, if you see a child that you know doing something that might not be good, you'll walk up to them or ask the parents to tell them and let them know what's going on. First of all, and second of all, he knows us. We're his neighbor, and it's not like there's numerous other Black families on our street. It's not only racist what he did, but it was extremely traumatic for my sister. She sees all these other Black people, on the news, being killed by police officers for doing nothing wrong. So when this call rolled up beside her, she was immediately frightened because she did nothing wrong. No kid should have to be stared in their own town on their own street. To my sister was extremely offensive, traumatic, and scarring towards my family. I can confidently assure you guys she will never forget.
Neighbor called the police and reported there's a little Black woman walking, spraying stuff on the sidewalks and trees. I don't know what the hell she's doing. It scares me though. And included is wearing a hoodie. It is sickening and scary to hear my neighbor triggering words that have resulted in the death of too many Black and brown children and adults at the hand of the police.
A lot, I think.
So yeah, this cleared it up that at the first person that was talking was
Her daughter, her sister.
her sister, yeah, her
Mhm.
sister, and
Yeah.
then the second one was her mom.
mother.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And it's not only terrible, but this is what we're still having to deal with. I think here the most the hardest thing for me to watch is that we can't have our children go outside for anything these days. We can't even be outside, child, for anything these days. But our neighbors, who we think, who always bothers us, but we're gonna go ahead and ignore them. As a Black person, you don't get to really do that. At any moment of your time, that neighbor could turn on you. Neighbor could turn on you. My nail guy was telling me, he's like, at first I used to try to be the best citizen ever. He's Asian, Vietnamese. At first I used to try to be the best citizen ever, and then he's like, my neighbor, because I moved in, felt some kind of way that I moved in, but then a Black person moved in. He said across the street, and my white neighbor came to me and said they're renting. And I looked at him like, okay, so what that they're renting? He said that at first when he moved there as an Asian, part of the Asian community, he felt like the neighbor wasn't feeling that he was living there. But when he saw the Black person move across the street, came over and said, oh, they're renting. And it was almost like he was going to just look at and watch. This is how my nail guy was saying. He said he felt like the neighbor was going to watch everything they were doing, watch their every step, so that he was looking for one misstep so that he can call the police. Living Black, having children, you're always on alert. A baby should not be put in handcuffs. No police should be called on them for any reason. I remember covering a story about 2 years ago about, I believe it was a 6-year-old girl who was sitting in court because I think that she was running down somewhere. It was something basic. A white person called the police on her, and they actually took it to court. A 6-year-old where the cuffs couldn't even fit her wrist. And sometimes you don't make it to court. Sometimes police just come and they shoot you. Calling cops on children for doing nothing but being children. And in this case, we got a little scientist on our hands who wanted to help save the earth. Climate change is real. Who wanted to protect the plants. All of that. And you call the cops, and we really are sitting in front of council. And it was a council for somebody who worked on a former council member who called the police. But for people to sit there and actually, I'm sitting before you guys speaking about a 9-year-old girl. Did you see that baby? Did you see her?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, and she will never forget this time. She will never forget this moment. Her sister, who is just a few years older than her, still a baby herself, having to just speak to a room full of grown people so that they can understand why this is wrong. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
You can tell she was just there, just looking like, okay, what am I doing here again?
Yep.
Kids can't be kids anymore.
No, they can't. And adults have to be on alert when it comes to their kids, and can't allow their kids to do kid things. Can't allow their kids to go simply to the grocery store because you don't know what kind of day it's going to be at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Come on. Monique said she received the recording of Lachey's 911 call from Caldwell's police department. Quote, there's a little Black woman walking, spraying stuff on sidewalks and trees. I don't know what the hell she's doing, but it scares me though. That's what she told police. She continued to say, and he included that she's wearing a hoodie. And then Monique continued and said, my 9-year-old daughter, Bobby, had a hoodie on her, but did not have the hoodie on her head. It is sickening and scary to hear my neighbor use triggering words, y'all. I need you to understand, hoodie and black child, or just hoodie and scared. Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
We're still triggered. It's sickening and scary to hear my neighbor use triggering words that have resulted in the death of too many black and brown children and adults at the hands of police. Black hoodie, I'm scared. Those are triggering words, she said. Being black ain't easy. Y'all, everybody wants our rhythm, but don't want our blues. I read that back in like 2018 online.
When I tell you that goes so many ways, because it's a story I want to cover that I dropped late last night. Is dealing with Kyrie, Kanye.
Oh yeah,
and now Dave Chappelle. Because I watched the Chappelle monologue on SNL and it wasn't terrible at all. But now the Jewish community has condemned him, or I'm not sure the whole story. I got to pull up that part of the story. But Shannon Sharp, actually from ESPN or whatever damn sports ball show he does, pulled up or said something that made sense. How black people we are always made to bend the knee. If that makes any sense. We are punished so harshly for shit that we say here in America that it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But yet, let a white person say something. They don't get nothing. Slap on the wrist. Oh, he's okay. It was all right. It was just a harmless mistake. It'll be okay. But then let a black person do it. All over the place. And when I tell you, they try to chastise us, do everything. Kyrie, I'm sure, like, yes, not saying that he was right what he did and everything else, but the punishment, you ain't gonna do that to Tom Brady. You ain't gonna do that to Peyton. You ain't gonna do that to none of these other white athletes. But if it's a black person, y'all will hang them out on the cross to dry. Okay. So while Rebecca's off camera as well, too, there's another shocking racial interaction that occurred over the weekend as well, too. A Texas teacher at Bowles Middle School, whose identity has not been released, has been placed on administrative leave after a viral video shows the instructor making racist comments to students. Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, the teacher says to the young students, which means I think my race is the superior one. Josh, go ahead and roll that clip, please.
Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one. Oh, wait, no, let me finish.
White is better than all.
No, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I think everybody thinks that, they're just not honest.
I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only think that.
Wait, so you said you are what? You are racist?
You saying you're like...
I think everybody's a racist at that level.
No, you said you are racist.
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to be honest. No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're... I respected you for a while, but like now, I don't even have no more respect for you.
Put it up.
Yeah, for real. I don't think I got respect for him no more, bro.
You know, you should have more respect because I'm honest.
Wow, that's crazy. You can bring Becca back up as well, Josh.
Like,
yeah,
not that's crazy. No, but it definitely is wild. Here's my thing on this. Administrative leave, which sounds a bit paid to me. Administrative leave is the calmness in his racism. The calmness in his racism. That's scary. Administrative leave, racism. The person has to be white. Let that have been a black teacher, it would have been an issue. But I don't want to do the what ifs and the what could haves and the should haves. What we're seeing here is real. His calmness in his racism, the way that he's educating about his racism. As these kids are trying to tell him, hey, like he said, the baby said, I like all kinds. I like all kinds. And that's the type of person I am. This kid, it was a baby who's having an adult conversation with the racist that is trying to educate him on why his race is the most superior. People have a problem when Black people believe themselves that their race is superior. The fact that we have to believe that for ourselves is because where we live today does not see us as people. White people who believe that their race superior are living in are living in a nation that sees them, addresses them. The systems are built in their favor. Our struggles are not the damn same. So I see people in the comments saying, well, they should believe that their race is superior because that's their race. In this country, they were never made to feel that their race was inferior.
Okay.
We weren't even considered people. We were below inferior. We don't feel pain. We don't deserve anything. All we're good for is labor. And at that, get thrown pennies on a dollar for the labor. We are not respected in any way, shape, or form. So when we talk about ourselves as being superior, when we walk around trying to find our roots because all traces for some people were erased. When we do that, when we talk about being superior, that needs to be educated. I don't care about why white people think they're superior in this country. It's coming from a hateful place. It's coming from a hateful place, a nasty place. Anytime a white person says that they feel like their race is superior in a country that it's already superior, in a country where they don't have to try to act and push that on us because we see it every single day, it's problematic, especially when it's given to little white kids. I mean, that man at any time of the day in this school could try to be a civil officer, shoot these little boys, whatever, because of his feelings of being superior. I see a little Black boy doing something outside of what I believe is right. You move in what white supremacy looks like. So you telling us right now that you function in white supremacy. That's problematic. I do not want my children going to a school with a teacher that functions in white supremacy.
Mm-hmm. Especially now, it's starting to look different because this man's probably been teaching there for the longest, and it just happened to come up. So when they heard him say that, oh, let me record this. Especially you hear the Black boy saying it. You know, I used to have a lot of respect for you. So that means he's been teaching these kids for a long time. Yeah. The other scary part about that is, y'all, think about how many other teachers there are that are like this in the country.
But I grew up with them. I went to school with
I think we all did, and probably didn't even know it.
Yeah. We didn't have the luxury of putting it on camera.
Exactly.
We didn't have that luxury, but it's good to see. It really is. It's good to see how these kids are pulling up their cameras and putting it on site and doing, we need to see this. However, administrative leave.
Oh, and update, he's been fired. They just posted the article that he's been fired after review. Yeah. Yeah, man, because I don't want you teaching my kids this type of rhetoric. And granted, you may not have been teaching it, but for you to freely feel that you can tell my child that I feel like I'm ethnocentric and I feel that my race is the superior race, hell no. You can get the hell on somewhere. Don't be nowhere around my child. Nowhere. Rebecca? Oh, okay. So yeah. So thankfully, like I said, he has been fired now. So that is a good deal.
Well, that's all I got to say about that. I really don't have nothing else to say about this. It's we live in this world. We experience this world. I hope that I want the next part of the story to be where the school puts something in place against this type of stuff, or the school district puts something in place against this type of stuff. We see this happen way too often. My friend, she actually works in a union. She's the head of a union. She's one of the top people at the union. And so she goes to different schools. It's for schools. Y'all, racist. He probably called his union if he has one. And the racist people who have been fired or whatever, they call the union for protection. They're using the union to protect their jobs, protect their racism. It's a freedom of speech. Remember when they were using that as a talking point? They don't use that too much this time because now they're just like, it's what the hell I think. It is what it is. It was that it was freedom of speech. And that's what he thought he was exercising. What is it? His First Amendment, well, first whatever amendment, child. He was exercising his rights to say what he wanted to say. It's America, free speech. How about you teach us about how y'all brought people here, or the royalties, the people who actually created good lives for themselves as Black folks, and their towns were bombed, and people didn't go to jail for that.
Right.
How about we start discussing how Ruby, who is still alive, because this happened like 50 years ago or something, and where she was one of the first people to segregate or desegregate a school, and your grandparents was out there throwing things at her, calling her all types of names as a baby, a little 6-year-old, I believe, going to school. She had to be walked to school by the FBI.
Yep.
How about we discuss that? I didn't learn that at all. I didn't learn about it.
And in that movie, that document I keep telling you about, I keep saying it. God forbid, they talk about that in there as well too. They fit that in there about the segregation, because Jerry Falwell Sr. was a huge, massive ass racist that basically got Ronald Reagan in office just by swaying the Christian vote. So they discuss all of this, and it's just crazy now that here it is in 2022. There's still some places in Georgia that haven't been integrated.
Okay, because I remember y'all, if y'all really want to get to it, I know we played that clip on the show a couple of times. Oprah being out there in Forsyth or Forsyth or Forsyth or for whatever it's called, or Forest something. I don't know, but it's something out there. Okay, it was just out there, and she's out there, and the okay, so she's out there. Oh, you right. People in my business. She's out there, and she's out there in what you call it, that area, Forsyth, or whatever it's called. It's called Forest something, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it Forsyth? Okay,
it's Forsyth, Georgia.
Okay. Okay, she's out there, and the people. This was like, I'm 32 years old, and this was 30 years ago, 1989, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was 89, 90.
And those people were like, I don't consider myself a racist, but I don't consider myself a racist, but I mean, I just don't want people going to the same school as my daughter, or I don't want Black people. I don't want them to come to like where I live. Here's the kicker. The colors. Here's the kicker. After that show, they had to rush Oprah's behind out of there because them KKKs was actually planning to come and do something.
Oh yeah, they was gonna pull up on Oprah big time.
Yo, we don't live in a world I'm sorry, and I gotta narrow it down. I keep saying a world, but we don't live. I'm already Haitian. That's one. Black. I'm a woman. I got a vajayjay. You know, we don't got no rights already. Being Black in America is something that is just, I don't know who told the rest of the world that America is where it's at. Being Black in America ain't it. It ain't it. That's why we find the happiness. We find how we can and try to secure what we have. It's not that we don't want to share it with the world. It's because when the world sees how beautiful and great we are, they want us to think twice. They want us to think otherwise. They don't want us to appreciate ourselves. And again, I keep saying the world, and let me narrow it down to America. America wants us to not love ourselves. They don't want us to win. They don't want us to get the same opportunities, because when we say Black Lives Matter, we're speaking about equality. When they say White Lives Matter, they're saying that Black lives don't. When we say Black people are superior, they're saying, when they say White people are superior, they're saying that every other race outside of being white is superior. I'm okay with every race calling themselves superior, but white people. Seriously, in America, I am. We don't. Every day is a battle for us mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We're told a lot of the things that we in religion, the God that we serve or the Jesus that they depict don't even match the descriptions in the Bible. It matches what white people think is superior looking. We learn in our education system about the good things that these good whites did. Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas. They didn't teach us that Christopher Columbus went to the Americas, didn't discover it because there are people already inhabiting the land. And he killed off them people, took what their treasures and golds, described them in his diary, and then went on and said that because his behind was on a boat, he pulled up on some areas, he discovered it. You did not discover these lands. America is not the superior nation. It's not. You didn't discover the Americas, and there are people already inhabiting this land, but we were taught that this man found everything. No respect is given to the people who actually inhabited the land. Indigenous people. Shout out to Indigenous people. It's your month. Shout out to y'all. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to, if you haven't seen already, Black Panther. We didn't even get to discuss that. Let's cover that for two seconds.
Yeah.
And then we got to go because I have to go to my dentist. As you guys can see, my mouth is wide shut on this side. I got to go to the dentist. I'm going to my appointment. But Black Panther, y'all got until Thursday for us to really get into the gist of everything because I am not playing with y'all. We're going to have this conversation. Black Panther was particularly beautiful for me. Not a spoiler alert as to details, but there was some Haitian representation in there and it was beautiful to see.
It definitely was.
It really was.
Even though they filmed that scene in Puerto Rico, but yeah, it was beautiful. I loved how they did it. Yeah.
So they
I wish they would have been like there.
So they filmed a few scenes in Puerto Rico. They filmed a few scenes in Cap Haitien, which is a place in Haiti. It's actually a huge city in Haiti. They did film that. During the filming, we know that there was unrest. We know that there was civil unrest happening in Haiti and things like that. They had to move somewhere else to go do some of the rest of the filming. But the most prominent parts definitely came out of Haiti at Cap Haitien. So beautiful. Here, but I will say, because how the world depicts Haiti, because how Haitians are treated, and we see Mexicans. Listen, we right there with each other. The most disrespected immigrants in the world is some Haitians and some Mexicans. The most disrespected immigrants in America is some Haitians and some Mexicans. They just can't stand to see it. I'm gonna put Middle Easterns right there with us, but they just can't stand to see, for some reason, some damn Haitians and some Mexicans. And what you see inside of this damn movie is great representation of how they are treated, but the beauty in how we see ourselves as superior. Both of them, Mexicans and Haitians and Black people, Black Americans. I love to see it. Mm-hmm. Y'all should go see it and really get a gist of it. The Mexican main character,
Talakan, not Talakan, but
Namor.
Namor. Rebecca ain't doing the movie justice, y'all. Let a real person talk about the movie. The movie off the effing chain. If you have not gone to see it yet, I don't give spoilers. I'm not a spoiler type person. Go see the movie. That's all I have to say. Take tissue with you because you're going to cry at the beginning, you're going to cry in the middle, and you're definitely going to cry at the end.
Yeah.
Go see the movie. I will say, just because how everything is done, solid 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the acting. Angela Bassett deserves an award for this movie.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you, hands down, and Angela Bassett has done a lot of incredible movies, TV shows, everything. But when I tell you this, she just mind-blowing. Probably 4 crying scenes, because that scene gonna make you cry too, because she laid it on. The movie is fucking awesome. Excuse my language. I said it anyway. I'm going to see it again tonight. Go see it. It's worth 2 hours and 40 minutes. 8 out of 10 for
You
the
going to a
movie
match? Oh,
itself, and then 10 out of 10. I mean, 12 out of 10 for the acting, and everybody stepped up. Everybody stepped up. Love the movie.
I chose not to read up on what was said on social media because people were so loud and wrong, like about a lot of things. And the fact that, again, misinformation is getting spread like a wildfire because Twitter's blue check marks are blue check marking right now.
Which has been suspended, by the way, because Jesus and Satan had blue check marks, and so then they suspended it. Yeah.
Okay. So I say this to say I didn't want to take on everybody else's ideas of the movie. When I go to the movie, I like to sit in there and escape from the world, and I become a character. I'm a main character type of girl. So I become a character. You know how when you leave the movie, that's all you can think about because you done developed a relationship with this person in the character, and while you're watching it, you developed a keen acceptance for who you thought was supposed to be the antagonist or whatever. You find emotion that is just raging out of you. When I leave it, I'm just thinking about it. That's how I am. I like to. When you go online, they can kill that buzz for you.
See, let me tell you a real movie critic, because I go on, I read every art, not every, I don't read spoilers, but I'll read every review, everything that everybody says, because at the end of the day, I still go in for myself. I'm like, okay, y'all gave it this. I doubt it, because for the simple fact that a lot of these people, when I first saw the reviews for it as well too, I'm looking through these reviews, especially on Rotten Tomatoes, and looking at some of the people that said some of the stuff. I'm like, yeah, it looks like you would say that. Then looked at another. Okay, that's reputable. Okay, where are you from? No, I don't trust you. So I go in it with me, and I'm like I said, I'm a movie head. I love Marvel movies, period. Marvel can do no wrong in my eyes. Now I say they have made some crap movies. No, actually, no, they haven't. They have made some movies that could have been done a little bit better, but they can do no wrong. And when I tell you, I go in there excited. That's just me, like a little kid in the candy store, because here it is. I've waited so long for this movie to come out, so now I finally get to watch it. So it's just, I love it when the emotion and everything else comes into it. Like Avengers Endgame, I screamed so loud in that movie.
I haven't watched it. Is that available like on HBO, Disney Plus or something?
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow night. Because Rebecca said she ain't never seen Avengers Endgame, which means you ain't seen probably half of the Marvel movies then, have you?
I seen maybe like the ones that matter to me.
Okay, well, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
I've never claimed to be such a Marvel lover, but I do know what's going on. I'll go back and watch the end because I know the end of the end game actually has something that will help me understand more about some of the the reference that's in Wakanda Forever. So like there's ties, but I only go to what I care for. If y'all think I'm about to sit down and watch all the Harry Potter movies, I'm not. Did I read the books? Yeah. Did I read the books? Yeah, I was more of the book reader for that. But if I'm gonna watch the movies, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So
if you read all the books, that's cool. Yeah.
I go to what interests me. I won't fake like I'm part of that crew, but I will go to what interests me. But you're right. You're in that way. You're a movie critic. I leave the movie and then I go do all of my research. I go figure out what this character. Look, what did this character mean? Where did he actually come from? In what other world is he found in the Marvel world? That's where I start to get really deep. Where can we find this reference? Is it any in comic books? Does he, was he in this and that? And what specific tribe is it representing? How close is it? That's where I start going into. And then I just say, man, if she didn't do X, Y, and Z, what would Rebecca have done? I start to put myself, I told you, main character. I get crazy. That's why I can't go online, because I'm like, that is not what I got. I like to hold on and cherish the feelings that I got for the movie. I like to keep that warm feeling inside of me, especially if it was good to me. Now, when I didn't like the movie, I go online to see all the hate, so I can be like, that's right. it wasn't good. Like that's what I'll do. But other than that, I don't like people
Rob
spoiling
from
my
DC,
love.
like, Bubba, get your girl. I know, Rob. I know.
Yeah.
It explains a lot. Rebecca's Rebecca's a reader, so I think she looks at it more different than I do. I don't read a lot of books like that. Like I read stuff like The Art of War or stuff like that. So I don't
Right.
read like a lot of the fantasy books like I used to when I was younger. So I feel where you're going. I feel where you're coming from, though.
And I
feel
love,
where
don't get
you're
me wrong,
coming
I love a good movie. I go to the movies very, very often, but when it comes to this particular area of Marvel or you guys in Marvel and the Marvel head, you will never see me online saying I'm a Marvel head. I'll mention my characters that I like, and it could be from the Marvel movies that nobody even cares about. Like it could be those ones, right? But that's me, and I done skipped 10 to get to that one. You know what I'm saying?
You did. As long as
But
you saw the first Black Panther.
oh, you know I seen it. I was
Yeah.
actually, that's when I seen that was a good time for me. That was a good time for me. But I did see the first one. I'm at the end of the show. I really gotta go. I'm gonna be late to this dentist appointment. My teeth are clenching more and more to the side. I'm gonna be talking like this in a second. I love you guys so much. And
Rebecca, were you dressed up
where?
for the movie?
For the movie, I was dressed up, but I wasn't dressed in. I'm going by myself again, so I might just do a little something where I could actually experience the lady in the back not going,
You experienced when I tell you it was so quiet in this movie theater. It was packed. Everybody had their white on, and I'm sorry to hold you, but I'm gonna let you go in a minute. But let me finish. When I tell you movie was sold out. First of all, sold out. Everybody had on white. It was a beautiful thing. All you heard in the movie theater was,
oh yeah,
and like it was pin drop, and I'm just like, I love y'all for this. Thank y'all for not ruining my movie experience.
Yeah.
I love y'all for that.
Yeah, those specific parts where you're supposed to, they respected. But everything else, like the movie theater was not packed. I had a beautiful seat. My eyes were adjusting to the screen where I was sitting. Everybody was good. Everybody was quiet. A white woman walked out when it was certain parts of the movie. She took her kid out of the movie. They never came back. Yes, they never came back. And so, but there was that one lady in the back. That's right. Don't you let them do that. Oh no. Oh no, they didn't. So then
Rebecca, let me find out she be going to the hood ass movie theaters.
I'm
And
gonna
I
tell
thought
you,
my movie theater was hood.
I didn't go to my city movie theater. I wanted to go experience it with the people who look like me. So I did, and it wasn't a ghetto experience. It was just an amen corner by herself, and I was like, whoever's sitting next to her is pissed. For sure. I gotta go, y'all. I love y'all so much. Listen, we're at the end of the show. We're gonna talk more about this. You have until Thursday to go watch the movie, or don't watch Thursday's episode. With that being said, I need for you guys to do me a favor. I need you guys to, if you aren't already a Patreon, please go on to patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not to become a Patreon today. Because of your support, you help us keep this show going. You help us pay for the programs that we need. And you help us take care of our producers, okay? Because we need to do that as well. Y'all, if a better way that you can give is to definitely give through our Cash App. Becca's Voice and DJ X3C. Becca's Voice and DJ X3C. It is Tuesday. I want you guys to go eat some tacos in my name because I'm going to go get these braces tightened. So I ain't going to be able to eat none today, but maybe tomorrow. But please, thank you guys for your support. Jesus. Thank you guys for your support thus far. I love you so much. Mean it. I mean it so much. See y'all.
I'm going to lay back down because I feel crappy. But before I do, I want to leave you with your affirmation for today. Today, I am planting the seeds of growth in my life. I am absolutely committed to watering them every day. Today, I am planting the seeds of growth in my life. I am absolutely committed to watering them every day. Y'all gonna be great, man. Taco Tuesday, like Becca said. Y'all make sure y'all have a great day, man. Love on yourself, love on others as well, too. We will see y'all tomorrow. Josh said, I think y'all heard me. Oh, yeah, they heard me, Josh. Somebody big y'all computer. Yeah, all right, cool. All right, y'all, I'm out. Deuces. Thank y'all so much.
This oven up like 5,000 degrees. It's almost ready, we've been craving this all week. Baby, you want it, I got it. I'm hooked on you like phonics. Gotta be honest, you're on it. And this ain't no time to be modest. Hope that, push that, shake that, girl, take your last name, let's hyphenate that. We don't need a recipe. Whip that cream.